Welcome to my channel. This is Cusp of Beauty Tarot, and I'm doing a cusp reading for Taurus Gemini for the period of around April 21 to May 21. I'm going to call it April to mid-May 2020, but you get the drift. We'll see what's going on in different areas of your life, including relationships, and that's the one that will expand at the end of the reading, so you get a little more detail around that. But this is just a snapshot, so it's a relatively high-level reading. Just wanted to get something out to my cuspers. I hope you're staying well, staying safe during this crazy pandemic time. And let's take it from here. So, Taurus Gemini, what's happening for you in the area of career? What's happening for you in the area of finances? Ooh, wow, interesting. How about health and well-being? And how about relationships? Okay, so let's see what we got. So basically, I'm going to pull these together. I think I'm going to take this vibe together. So in your career sector, you are seeing this kind of unity, this kind of tribal mentality. Maybe you've been through, it looks like you have a leadership role, by the way. Many of you that are going to resonate with this, and this could literally be you, Taurus Gemini. So if you're in a leadership role, for many of you during this period coming up, it's even more enhanced that you're working with a company that maybe feels like family or feels like it's your community, or you want your career to have an impact on the community or in your business. It's just a really tight-knit community. I also feel like in your career, you're actually being afforded a decent amount of well-roundedness in your life so that you're able to do energy toward your work, but also energy toward your family for many of you. Even if you're working really hard, and perhaps maybe it's the opportunity to work remotely right now, where you actually, believe it or not, I'm finding, I'm hearing from people that they actually get to see their families more. It's creating a new value base, a new perspective on the importance of family and relationships. So maybe this is a new horizon for you to connect even better with your family while you're working, or maybe at work within your career, you're operating on the principle of community, family connection in terms of how people are working and pulling together during this challenging time. So there's unity. I guess the biggest word I'm getting from this to do with your career is unity and kind of camaraderie. You are definitely, many of you, in a leadership capacity, and even if you're not a literal leader, we all kind of have leadership capacity no matter where we are or no matter what rank or file or position that we're in. In a financial situation, this would say that you're reaping some rewards because you have control and authority over your outcomes. So you're making clear decisions. You're thinking, analytically, intellectually, very left brain, linearly. You're not getting overly ruled by your emotions right now. You're able to detach and make some really good financial decisions. You're very focused with the eye on the prize, being in control of your finances, making appropriate investment decisions, making appropriate acquisition decisions for yourself, your family, your career. So, maybe cutting your losses too. Maybe you're making a decision to cut your losses so that things that were a drain on your finance or career situation are going to get cut out of the picture. But you're thinking very clear-headedly, logically, analytically, like a King of Swords would. In the area of your health and well-being, I think you might be having certain insights right now. There's a certain divine process that's going on right now, meaning that you are open to receiving messages, you're open to what's in your higher good, what is for the higher good, you're open to seeing your relationship to the higher, to the divine or to the higher good or to your wisdom, to your intuition. You're very connected to things beyond the 3D and day-to-day realm. So I think when it comes to your well-being and health, that's giving you a broader perspective for many of you. It's giving you just giving you a broader perspective, like you have a different life view right now, because you're able to kind of see the bigger picture. And what that means to your health is it's a little bit like the don't sweat the small stuff adage, where when we're in the weeds about life or in the weeds about our challenges, we can get pulled down, and it can pull down our energy, can pull us into stressors that we don't typically want to be pulled into. And I think that this to me is saying that you're kind of seeing the higher vision, you're seeing a higher perspective, and it's affording you some balance and some stress control to some degree. We all have stressors right now, but I think this broader view and kind of trusting in the rightness of the situation and having faith, I think is going to be something that helps your well-being right now. I think you're making some decisions and judgments around what works for you and what doesn't work for you in the area of your well-being, and you're going to follow it. You're taking heed to it. In the area of relationships, we have the Page of Swords. So this could be your energy, the person that you're dealing with or thinking about, but there's an issue of, I think, impatience when it comes to this. I'm getting like a vibe of impatience, a little bit of impulsivity, like somebody wants to communicate, somebody wants to cut to the chase and maybe leap out and communicate, but I think somebody's not, because generally the Page of Swords can go behind the scenes and not be as direct. They tend to not be as direct, Taurus Gemini. So maybe if you've got things on your mind or things you want to clarify or somebody you want to reach out to and communicate to, you're not at this moment. You might just be watching kind of from the corners, or by the way, this going in both directions. You could be having someone that you're thinking about who would actually really like to communicate, but is not doing it directly right now. They might be watching you on social media, or like we say, the Page of Swords can do. The biggest energy that I'm initially getting around this is definitely a desire to get to truth in a matter and to communicate. There might be a loose end that needs, resolution. So let me see what other clarity we can get for the relationship side of this reading. For Taurus Gemini, mid-April to mid-May. Taurus Gemini, mid-April to mid-May. So let's see. What is this person thinking or feeling that you're dealing with? How are they showing up? And how will they be moving forward kind of in the near future of this time frame of the reading? So that would be like, mid to end of May. How will they be moving forward? Roughly. So what's their thought and feeling around the situation or you? We've got Judgment again. This person, I think, is thinking about, they have feelings still. They have feelings like they would want to give. I think they have more than one obligation in their life. Maybe it's family, community, maybe it is another relationship. But I think the person that you're thinking about might have have various things they're trying to give to right now, but you're one of them. You are on their mind. I think to do with the Judgment card again, I think this person is going to leave certain things to fate. They might feel there is a decision to make between options, between parties, but they're not pushing it. I think they're going to look for a higher message. They might be having visions in their dreams. They might be just keeping a little bit of a spiritual or otherworldly approach to this right now, not forcing themselves into a decision. So I think they think and feel that they do have feelings. They do have a connection. Yeah, but they're holding off on forcing a decision. Exactly. They're just kind of in the flow. They're not going to force something here, is how they're thinking and feeling. How they're actually showing up, Taurus Gemini, how your person that you're thinking about here, how they're actually showing up. Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands. So, yeah, to the Page of Swords, I mean, there definitely could be this could be your person wanting truth, wanting to communicate. They're showing up like they want clarity. They want truth. They want victory and passion too. I mean, this is clearly someone who wants to kind of chip into a new start, or at least either not necessarily, I mean, it's not closing off a loose end. It's, to me, actually regenerating something. So I think your person, as much as they're holding back on a decision, they're debating on or just embodying this energy of a new cycle. Like maybe they've come to terms with certain things and they're in an energy of a new cycle with you when it comes to you, when it comes to showing up with you. So what does that mean in the near term? What does that mean they're taking into the near term with this relationship? What's going on for your person in terms of, you know, end of May? Oh, I took both of these. Okay. So I took 3. If you have any, yeah, I think I think there's a desire to communicate. I think there's more of a desire to communicate, believe it or not, on their part than yours. And for those of you that might have been hurt in the past, or they're hurt and mirroring that, part of them wants to rush in and actually communicate. I think there's just this urge to communicate on their part, despite the, you know, the hurt that may have happened in the past. I'm not sure that, you know, the vibe of their communication is to not necessarily have the upper hand, but they're concerned about this kind of win-lose dynamic. So it's almost like they want to, I almost see it like they want to rush in to have the last word. It's a crazy energy. They want to rush in to clarify, but are they going to do it in a way that is bonding, or are they almost going to be still resentful or argumentative and want to have the last word? And this energy of Emperor in the reverse also tells me it could be a harsh energy for them in the future. So they have emotions, they have passion, but will they maybe let that get the better of them and go back to maybe, I mean, you could definitely be dealing with an air sign or somebody that just has their view of like my way or the highway, like a manipulative energy to some degree that might not be the best energy for reconciliation or meeting of the minds. They might get very attached to their thoughts or overly dramatic. So take this whole thing with a grain of salt. If you do end up meeting with them, talking to them in the future, like mid to end of May, you may need to kind of hold your ground, you know, set your own emotional boundaries so you don't get sucked into this. If they mean something to you, go ahead and communicate with them, but be aware that they have a bit of an emotional, and almost want to say forceful approach that they may take in doing so. So it's not always a bad thing, you know. Better than complacency, better than indifference, better than somebody checking out to the point of not caring. But just, you know, if this would upset you, just be aware that, you know, the interaction could have a lot of fire and cutting. You know, you may have to hear this person out. This person may be really hurt and they need to express themselves. So it may call upon you to be more patient and kind than you're used to if this is a connection that you want to hear out. Definitely. So there is passion there, absolutely. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would love a thumbs up. It helps me out, and I would love a subscription. I would appreciate that. And stay safe, stay well. We'll talk soon.